Now that our website is making good progress with the book list, we will work on the functionality for book details. So when we click on the details, I want to associate more details to the book that we have in book details model, like number of pages, number of chapters, and weight of the book. So let's add the details controller, and here you can see with details, we are also passing the book ID. So let me close it right here, and we'll add the book details. So for book details, what I want to do is I'll copy the upsert get and upsert post action method and paste them right here. We'll change this to details. So we'll have the details with the parameter of book ID, and next we have the details where we will receive the book view model. Now in the details get, we have the book view model object, but we do not need the publisher, so we'll just check if ID is null, we'll return back, else we will load the book and we will return to the view. But now here in the edit, what we have to do is we need to load the book details. So if the obj.book is loaded, what we'll do is we'll say obj.book.bookDetail. We have to populate that as well. So here we'll say _db.bookDetails.first.default, and we'll say u goes to u.bookDetailID is equal to obj.book. We have the book detail ID. So based on that, we'll be loading the book and book detail, and we'll be passing to the view because in details we want to display all of the book details. And then we have the HTTP post for details where we get the obj view model. Right here we have to check book dot in there, we have the book details. We'll check if book detail ID is null or not, or it's 0 or not. So if the book detail ID is 0, we have to add the book details. So we'll be adding book.bookDetail. If this is not the case, we will be updating the same record. So I'll copy this and paste it right here, and it will be book detail. That being said, here things are slightly different. The reason is whenever we save a record in book detail, we also have to update the corresponding value inside the book. So for that, if a book is added, we need to know what is the new book detail ID that got created. So for that, we'll have to copy the save changes, and we'll have to save the changes individually inside them. Once the changes are saved, we can retrieve the complete book object from the database. So we'll say variable book from db is equal to _db.books.first.default, because we just want to retrieve the current book we're working with. So u.book_id is equal to obj.book.bookid. Based on this, we will retrieve the book. Then we have to update the book from db.bookDetailsID. This book details ID will have to be updated only if it is create. Now in edit, you do not have to update it because the ID stays the same. So if it's add, what will be the ID of the new book details that got created? That is automatically assigned in obj.book.bookDetail, and here we have the book detail ID. This book detail ID will be empty before the execution of the save changes. Once the changes are saved, it automatically updates this ID with the new ID that is created. And once you have that, you'll save the changes, and that way you will update your book record as well. Now, as I said again, you will cut this and paste this inside the creation, because when you update, you do not need to save anything there. And after all of this completes, we'll redirect back to the index action. So we learned quite a few things here. First, that we also have to populate the book detail. So once we retrieve the book, we had to manually populate the book detail. And the other thing was, when you saved the book detail, you had to retrieve the ID of the new book detail that got saved, and we had to update that inside the book table. Let's see all of this in action in the next video when we create the view.